Baruch Shabbat Yam, brothers and sisters, Hebrews in Jamaica, the Caribbeans, the West, to the four corners of the earth, scattered greetings. This Shabbat lesson, we're going to title it, Shalomah, I am black. Let's talk. Shalomah, Solomon, I am black. Right? Okay, brothers and sisters, so we're going to go into the scriptures. Right, take a look at the screen. We're going to take it from Shalomah, Solomon 1:1-7. You see, the Song of Solomon, which is Solomon's. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine. Because of my Savior of thy good ointments, thy name is as ointment poured forth, therefore do the virgins love thee. Draw me, we will run after thee. The king hath brought me into his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in thee. We will remember thy love more than wine, the upright love thee. I am black, but comely. I am black, but comely. The word comely means handsome or fair or beautiful. I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Shalomah. Look not upon me because I am black. Look not upon me because I am black. Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun had looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but my own vineyard have I not kept. Tell me, O thou whom my soul loveth, where thou feedest, where thou makest thy flock to rest at noon. For why should I be as one that turneth aside by the flocks of thy companions? If thou know not, O thou fairest among women, go thy way forth by thy footsteps of the flock, and feed thy kids beside thy shepherd's tent. So you know right there, Shalomah is describing a beautiful black, so-called black woman. Upright and fair indeed, brothers and sisters. So, brothers and sisters, in Solomon 1-7, 1-5, this passage, this book is the speaker often identified as the Shulamite maiden. Shulamite maiden, Solomon's maiden, acknowledges her darker complexion while simultaneously affirming her beauty and loveliness. The verse highlights a contrast between her perceived physical appearance and her internal beauty, suggesting that true beauty transcends superficial traits. And I wish many of my so-called black women would have these traits, identify with the beauty within and not so much as the beauty without. Because the beauty without will fail with time. You will get old one day. Well, what say you about your beauty within? Your beauty within will never get old because it's an eternal thing. It's a preservation thing. You see, many of you today put too much emphasis on the outward beauty, which will fail. And because of that attitude many of our so-called black women have today, it gives them a nasty attitude, a nasty behavior, mentality. You see, brothers, and that is fading. Your physical appearance is fading. Every single person on earth, born young, die old. That's the facts of life. So stop wasting numerous of time on the outer appearance and spend more time with the inner appearance. Outer, inner, the inner appearance. And the focus of the inner appearance comes from spiritual discernment, spiritual acknowledgement, knowing who you are as a people, as an individual, and know your Elohim. Know your Eliyahu. His name is Yahuwah, the Eliyahu of Israel. Yahusha is our saving grace. He is the creator of the universe. Brothers and sisters? So as the story goes, Solomon was the son of Bathsheba, the Canaanite, black woman. Bathsheba means daughter of Sheba. Bereshit 10:7-12 states that the son of Cush were Seba, Havala, Septa, Rama, and Septika. Huh? All black people's name, brothers and sisters. Huh? On your screen. Everything is on the screen, brothers and sisters. Okay, brothers and sisters, we're going to look at some archaeological evidence of Shalomah and Sheba. The story of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba is one of the more intriguing accounts found within the narrative of Shalomah's reign. Kings, First Kings, Rishon, Kings 10. Yet the lack of clear archaeological or historical evidence for early trade or political connections between ancient Yehuda and Saudi Arabia has led many scholars to question the account's reliability. In our study published in Jerusalem Journal of Archaeological suggests that a small inscription from the excavation of Jerusalem or Ophel may provide just such. I can see that inscription on your screen. Brothers and sisters, the Ophel. And this picture that you see with the connection between Shalomah and Sheba, right, is from Daniel Weinstock. Right, Daniel Weinstock. Right, Dr. Ilat Mezar. Right? And so Shalomah and Sheba, a new proposal, discovered in 2012 during excavation at the Ophel by the late Eliat Mazar. The small inscription, which includes just 7 letters, has puzzled scholars for years. While most have assumed the inscription is written in Canaanite, Daniel Weinstock of Ben Gurion University now believes it is written in an ancient South Arabian script known as Sabaean, the language of the ancient kingdom of Saba, biblical Sheba, in the area of modern Yemen, brothers and sisters. Take a look at the screen, you can see an image of that, modern Yemen, right? And this view of Ophel excavation area as seen from Mount of Olives, courtesy Nathan Steinmeier. Nathan Steinmeier. Dated to the 10th century BCE, the time of the biblical king Shalomah. The inscription could provide evidence of trade connection between ancient Saudi Arabia and Jerusalem during this early period, according to Weinstock. The inscription contains 3 full or partially preserved words. Weinstock believes the South Arabian letter H was used to designate the number 5. Intriguingly, the second word, which Weinstock reads as Idanum, is a type of resin possibly to be identified with oicha, one of the ingredients used to create incense burn at the tabernacle. Shemot 30 and 34. Let's look at that. Okay, brothers and sisters, at the screen, we're going to examine Shemot Exodus 30, right? 30 to 34. You're going to see one of the spies here we just talked about in the scriptures, all right? So that's Shemot, Exodus 30 to 34. And thou shalt anoint Aaron and his sons and consecrate them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, This shall be an holy anointing oil unto me throughout your generations. Upon man's flesh shall it not be poured, neither shall he make any other like it after the composition of it. It is holy, and it shall be holy unto you. Whosoever compounded any like it, or whosoever putteth any of it upon a stranger, shall even be cut off from his people. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, Take unto thee sweet spices, tacti, and ointia, and galbanum, these sweet spices with pure frankincense, of each shall there be a like weight, brothers and sisters. So the most I take this thing serious, to such a point that they put in as in the commandments, And Lord, brothers and sisters, huh? The inscription was engraven below. The inscription was engraven below on a large Judahite style storage jar. Although only fragments of the jar were preserved, the profile suggests its original held around 30 gallons or 5 ephahs, the standard volume measured in ancient Yehuda. According to Weinstock, this suggests that the number 5 within the inscription indicates the amount of resin that was held by the jar. Given that the Sabiac inscription was made before the jar was fired, it was likely written by a native Sabian, possibly even someone living in Jerusalem, as posited by Van Stubb. This suggests that a Sabian functionary entrusted with aromatic components of incense was active in Jerusalem by the time of King Shalomah. Solomon and Sheba, the linguistic and epigraphic debate. Not everyone is convinced by Weinstock reading or interpretation, however, which is more likely that we have in this Jerusalem inscription, the Canaanite script, which is well attested in the Levantine world, or that we have a 10th century early Arabian script. Caution Christopher Rolston, professor of Northwest Semitic language and literatures at George Washington University, in a communication with Bible History Daily. I would suggest that even if we believe that this inscription refers to some aromatic, it still makes the most sense simply to say that it was a Canaanite inscription about aromatic spice. After all, the Levantine world was certainly interested in incense, and this piece of pottery is a locally made pot. Van Stubb, however, is undeterred by such criticism. In many opinions, the inscription cannot be considered Canaanite, told Bible History Daily. For 10 years, researchers intended unsuccessfully to read it as a coherent text in Canaanite. As Van Stubb points out, several letters are quite difficult to understand as Canaanite, which one letter, the H, which designate the number 5, can by no means fit any Canaanite letter, but fits exactly the ancient South Arabian H. Other questions regarding Van Stubb reading remain. One problem is the close similarity between the Slavic and Canaanite scripts, and the fact that the ancient South Arabian script of the first millennia BCE was born out of early Canaanite script. Thus, while Van Stubb's interpretation is possible, there is little way for epigraphicers to know for certain. Solomon and Sheba ancient trade. But if Van Stubb's interpretation is correct, the small inscription discovered just 300 yards from the presumed location of Solomon's temple could offer important evidence of early trade connection between Yehuda and Saudi Arabia, and therefore the history of the biblical story of Solomon and Sheba. But if Van Stubb's interpretation is correct, this small inscription discovered just 300 yards from the presumed location of Solomon's temple could offer important evidence of early trade connection between Judah, Yehuda, and Saudi Arabia, and therefore the historicity of the biblical story of Solomon and Sheba. And here's on take a map. Let's take a look at the screen. See a map of the location. Right, 300 yards from Jerusalem. Brothers and sisters? Over the past decades, archaeological and textual evidence from the Sabian kingdom has provided a great deal of new information about the ancient Yemeni civilization, according to the press release from the Hebrew University. During the 10th century BCE, the kingdom of Sheba thrived as a result of the cultivation and marketing of perfume and incense paints. With Marib as its capital, they developed advanced irrigation methods for the fields growing the plants used to make perfumes and incense. Their language was South Semitic one, King Shalomah, is described in the Bible as controlling the trade routes in Negev, with Sabaean camel caravans carrying perfume and incense plants pass through on their way to Mediterranean ports for export. Such a trade network exists by the 10th century. Control over this trade could have been one of the main reasons for Pharaoh Shishak's biblical Shishak's campaign into the southern Levant during the reign of Solomon's son and successor Rehoboam. You see, brother and sister. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's look some more deeply into Pharaoh Shishak. Right, the campaign of Pharaoh Shishak, 945 to 925 BCE, or Shishak as he is known in the Bible, had a profound and long-lasting impact on the Iron Age kingdom of southern Levant, described in the biblical text, as well as in the Pharaoh's famous Bubasite portal. Relief at Karnak. Shishak campaign is also attested archaeologically by numerous sites in Israel, and new discoveries continue to be made. Indeed, several recently published articles have provided important new information about the campaign, its potential motivation, and its effect on the region. Right, as you can see, you see Buddha side portal at the temple of Karnak in Mizraim, Egypt, which records Pharaoh Shishak's famous campaign to the southern Levant, and this credit Madine project, right? As described in 1 Kings 14, 25-20, Shishak came against Jerusalem in the 5th year of King Rehoboam and took away the temple treasure. The book of Chronicles further mentioned that before Shishak's march on Jerusalem, he had succeeded in subduing the fortified city of Yehuda. 2 Chronicles 12:1-12. Let's look at that. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's take a look at the screen. We're going to take it Shinai Chronicles 2:12, 1-12. And it came to pass when Rehoboam had established the kingdom and strengthened himself to forsook the law of Yahuwah and all Israel with him. And it came to pass that in the 5th year of King Rehoboam, Shishak, king of Mizraim, Egypt, came up against Jerusalem because they had transgressed against Yahuwah with 1,200 chariots and 300,000 horsemen, and the people were without number that came with him out of Mizraim, Egypt, the Lubims, the Sukims, and the Ethiopians. And he took the fenced city which pertained to Yehuda and came to Jerusalem. Then came Shemaiah the prophet to Rehoboam and to the princes of Yehuda that were gathered together in Jerusalem because of Shishak, and said unto them, Thus saith Yahuwah, ye have forsaken me, and therefore have I also left you in the hand of Shishak. Whereupon the princes of Israel and the king humbled themselves, and they said, Yahuwah is righteous. Nevertheless, they shall be his servants, that they may know my service and the service of the kingdoms of the countries. So Shishak, king of Mizraim, Egypt, came up against Jerusalem and took away the treasures of the house of Yahuwah. And the treasures of the king's house he took all. He carried away also the shields of gold which Shalomah had made, instead of which King Rehoboam made shields of brass, and committed them to the hands of the chief of the guard that kept the entrance of the king's house. And when the king entered into the house of Yahuwah, the guard came and fetched them and brought them again into the guard chamber. And when he humbled himself, the wrath of Yahuwah turned from him, and he would not destroy him altogether. And also in Yehuda things went well, brothers and sisters. All because of disobedience. And the same trait is happening and is continued today in our so-called black people's community and individual lives, and in a people and on a whole as a people. So you got, yeah, so biblical words, the Most High word describes Shishak. Right, brothers and sisters? And Shishak is a real person. You see, he did came upon Israel, Jerusalem, and took away the king's uh, treasures and vessels of worship of Yahuwah. Right? So Shishak's Bubasite portal inscription in the temple of Ammon at Karnak corroborates the biblical account. The relief which depicts Shishak smiting his enemies lists roughly 150 locations the pharaoh conquered on his campaign through the southern Levant, while a number of these locations are too badly broken to read. Many names are still intact and can be used to create a basic map of Shishak's campaign. And take a look at the screen, you will see that map. Plain as day, brothers and sisters. Huh? Among the places listed as having been captured by Shishak are several sites in the Central Hill Country located along the main east-west route leading to Jerusalem, although not explicitly mentioned in Shishak's inscription. One of the settlements destroyed by Shishak was likely Tel Muzah, as discussed in a 2021 Jerusalem Journal of Archaeology. You can go and research that for yourself. The article, the small agricultural settlement of Tel Muzah, was destroyed in the 10th century as part of Shishak's campaign. Tel Muzah, located only a few miles west of Jerusalem, would have been directly in the path of Shishak as he made his way to Jerusalem. The attack on Mozah and Shishak passed through the rough Judean highlight strongly suggests that Jerusalem must have possessed a serious threat to Mizraim interest in the area. So again, you notice the word Judean or Judeans. That word describes the Mashiach and his people. We who are taking chattel slavery, scattered to the four corners of Jamaica and so forth, are Judeans, Yahudim, Judeans. And Judean has to deal with what? Location and region. Has nothing to do with religion, has nothing to do with nothing concerning religion. It's about location. And that location is what? Northeast Africa and the surrounding area. Judeans. So the Shishak also conquered Jerusalem despite both First Kings and Second Chronicles mentioning that Shishak took away the temple treasures. Neither account states that Shishak succeeded in conquering the city. This is particularly interesting as Jerusalem is not one of the cities that Shishak claims to have conquered in his Karnak inscription, as Yigal Lavin suggests in Did Pharaoh Shishon Attack Jerusalem? By July-August 2012, it is possible that Jerusalem is not listed precisely because it was not actually conquered by Shishak. Instead, before the city fell, King Rehoboam saved the city by paying tribute to the Mizraim's pharaoh. Thus, the treasures reportedly taken by Shishak were not spoils of war, but rather a bribe. This likewise explains the words spoken by the prophet Shemaiah in 2 Chronicles 12:8, nevertheless, they, Jerusalem, shall be his Shishak servants, so that they may know the difference between serving me and serving the kingdoms of other lands. Jerusalem, however, was certainly not the only concern of Shishak's campaign. His main army continued to march northward to Megiddo, while a second branch moved south of the Dead Sea to invade the Arava Valley controlled by Edom. Other cities destroyed by Shishak include Gezer, Arad, Shechem, and many others. Although neither the Bible nor Mizraim Egypt sources are explicit about the objectives of Shishak's campaign, many scholars suggest that a driving factor was greater control over the region's copper trade and gaining access to the copper mines of the Arava Valley. Mizraim, Egypt, New Kingdom, pharaohs control most copper production in the region from the 14th through the mid-12th century BCE. However, after the Bronze Age collapsed, the 12th century, Mizraim was no longer able to access or control the Arava copper mines. According to a recent study in the journal PIOS 1, the Arava's local population not only continued to produce copper but actually exceeded the production of the earlier Mizraim, Egypt's efforts. By the 10th century, this local industry may have even led to the formation of the nomadic Edomite polity. If you continue to look at the screen, you'll see an image of the valley of Arava. So I hope you understand and get a full account of Shalomah. I am black. It is biblical, and I've shown you archaeological evidence and proof. You understand that everything you see happen in the scriptures happen right here on earth and nowhere else, brother and sister. You so-called black people were scattered to the four corners of the earth. Your story starts in the Bible. Slavery is a part of it because of our forefathers' disobedience. But our history did not start with slavery. It started in biblical context and history. You are the people of the book, the sheep of Yahushua's pastors. You see, brothers and sisters, come back to him in spirit and in truth and keep these laws, commandments, and statutes so that the Most High will not destroy you utterly. Because many are called, few are chosen, and only be a remnant of us shall be saved. So on that note, Bruk Yahuwah Tisavahot, Bruk Yahushua Mashiach, Shina, Vishina, blessed love and shalom.